Well, guys, after 2 fucking years, 2 fucking year hiatus, we can finally talk about this show. And this is a show I feel like a lot of people fucking sleep on. Because it's so good. Right, honey?
I really have... Like, it's one of those shows to me... It's one of those kids shows that come up every once in a while that's like... You know,
why doesn't it get enough attention?
No, I forget how good it is.
Yeah.
And I wish, like, it did get more attention than it deserved, because it honestly does.
It really does.
It really sucks to think that this show is not going to get the attention because it's on Netflix.
And it's a kid's show.
And it's a kid's show that's made for younger audiences.
Yeah, but it's good.
It's really good, though.
Anyway,
really
what show are you guys wondering what we're talking about? So welcome back to the podcast, guys. Welcome back. So today, we are basically going to be talking about Hilda. So that's basically the show.
Season 2.
Well, mainly Season 2, but we're also going to briefly touch on Season 1.
Which I don't have any memory of, so you're going to have to do most of the memory for me.
Yeah, but we're mainly talking about Season 2, but... I want to wait until 2 seasons came out for this, because the first season only had 13 episodes. This had 13, so now there's 26. So we thought it might as well be time to finally review this, because we saw season 1 we were both long distance.
Yeah.
Which was like 2 years ago. It's crazy to think that 2 years passed since the first season. And it's like...
It's crazy to think it's been 2 years since we've known each other.
That too.
Kiss, kiss.
Kiss, kiss. Anyway, why don't you explain what Hilda is about? At least a brief synopsis.
It is about a young adventurer who likes to go out into the wilderness to go explore things. And it's a very, folklore type of environment. There's trolls, there's little magical creatures running around. It's very, very over the garden wall.
Yeah, it's got a vibe of that mixed with Gravity Falls, a little bit of Owl House, and stuff like that. It's basically a fantasy type of show with a little bit of magical... Fantasy adventure, basically. With a couple elements of, what's it called? Of, magic and stuff like that.
A couple grim, dark, stories.
It does bring up some topics that I feel like we both feel like don't get talked about much in media, and it's kind of sad to hear about that. The fact that this does have really good meanings and morals in this show that sadly don't get enough praise. This show's completely underrated.
Yeah.
In a sense, because this show. Do you know when it originally came out?
2018?
Yeah, it came out 2018. And the second season literally came out this year.
Yeah.
Took 2 fucking years. Well, then again, I think it was supposed to come out last year, but because of the pandemic, they kind of had to, push it.
Yeah.
So...
Which happened to a lot of projects.
So, yeah. Something that you guys may notice, I don't know if it's going to be necessary for this video, but for a lot of upcoming stuff here and there, a lot of it has probably been pushed back because of the pandemic going on. So some stuff that was originally supposed to come out last year is coming out this year at this point.
Everything.
A lot of stuff. And this happened to be one of these shows. This show was originally supposed to come back last year, but because of the whole COVID thing going on right now, it got pushed back to this year, which it sucked because this show is really good. This is a good show. I'm sad it took 2 years for the second season to finally show up, but I still think it was good. Basically, I'll give a brief overview of the first season because it's been 2 years since we last saw it, but basically the first season sets up for the plot of this season. Mm-hmm. So basically the first season has Hilda and her mom and her deer fox pet Twig all living in a cabin. She's exploring the world around there, meets Alpha, who's a little elf, then after a bunch of, like, after something destroyed their house in the wilderness,
It was the mountain giant.
Yeah, it was a mountain giant destroyed the house.
He was walking away with his little, his eternal partner into the sunset, and they just happened to step in their house, which is like the funniest. Like, I don't know why. That was like
one of the funniest things ever.
Well, it was heartbreaking,
but funny.
And it was like, that's the thing. Why is that the one scene I remember very vividly from that first season?
So there was that, and then she ends up they ended up moving to the city, Trollberg, which is a city basically surrounded by a wall. Attack on Titan vibes, perhaps, but not really.
Or more like real world vibes.
Yeah. Hey! Jay! Not appropriate. Anyway.
I can say it.
Anyway. Basically, it's just... The rest of the season after that is just basically focusing on her discovering the world around her. Is basically all the first season was. However, we're mainly going to be talking about the second season, because... we just finished it today, so we might as well just talk about it, because this is a podcast we've been wanting to do since we started. This was one of the first podcast ideas we thought of.
Did you?
Honestly, like, this was one of the first ones I was like, we should definitely talk about this, because it doesn't get enough praise. Like, this show's got great animation, great character designs, great character interactions, some of the best mom and daughter relationship moments I've ever seen in a cartoon. In a very long time, and just a lot of like amazing elements that I'm sad not a lot of other shows like use, because like it's gotten to the point in cartoons nowadays where they're just focused on like just like the action adventure, but don't get to focus on the littler moments and stuff like that. Well, this show
we do focus on the little moments, but
they're not as wholesome as this.
They don't mean shit. There's no passion behind those fucking moments. I'll tell you that right now.
Not for every show, but there's some shows that just don't show the passion behind it.
I didn't see this passion in Steven Universe, though.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But this show...
This is honestly what I should label a list that's literally called... better fucking shows than Steven Universe.
Oh my gosh, this is not going to be turning into a Steven Universe video, honey.
Oh, I know that, but this would you have to admit, this would definitely be on that list.
Yeah, I can see that. But we're not talking about Steven Universe, we're talking about Hilda. So, what did you think of season 2? Because honestly, in my opinion, this was way better than the first season. Like, this season was so much better.
I really thought too. I think it, even though a lot of things were calling back to the first season, I just, like, out of memory, I was just like, damn, I wish I could remember what happened with, like, these callback characters and stuff. I wish I could remember, like, because I gotta go back and rewatch the first season.
We probably both do.
I really need to, but I feel like if you watch it, like, continuously like that,
it'll be different.
It has a lot of callbacks it has a lot of callbacks to the first season.
Yeah, which I'm kind of glad they do.
Yeah.
Because it rounds everything together.
I mean, yeah, I think, I just, like, I would like to see, like, the first season, and then I'd see the second season. And since it has a lot of callbacks, I would like to know,
what's
what, who's that? Because a lot of it I was just asking, who's this character? I was like,
a lot of them I happen to remember, surprisingly. Like, a lot of them I happen to remember. Which was surprising to me because this was 2 years ago. Like...
But to be completely fair, I honestly think that this is...
the better of the two.
Better than season 2.
Like
mainly because it's more memorable. And I think it got a little bit more tighter.
Yeah, it definitely gets a lot better this season. They're starting to focus more on what they want to do with it. And there's a couple elements that they decide that, hey, they're going to stick with. And I feel like that's going to be, like, season 3, whenever they decide to make season 3. I feel like that's going to really tie everything together as well. I don't know. We don't know.
Season 3 is going to have a whole different arc in general.
Yeah, but I do like how they're actually incorporating more into it than just like one singular thing. Because in this, so like there is going to be spoilers in this. So if you don't want to hear spoilers for season 2, please, I guess, log off now. Skip away at this point, because we're going to be talking about spoilers. So we're not going to go over individual episodes. We're just going to go over like just basic points and plots and stuff that is incorporated in this section of the thing. So one thing that they do incorporate in this...
3, 2, 1 spoilers.
3, 2, 1 spoilers. Something that they do incorporate in this is the fact that they are adding witches into this.
Yeah.
Which I think is interesting, especially because, you know, it's similar to Owl House in a sense, but not solely focused on that.
Let's be completely honest.
I wasn't expecting that.
Witches. There's a new form of witches that are appearing in media in general. And I'm not just talking about the craft of
witchcraft.
I'm talking about these characters that are like, you know, these characters that are kind of like millennium. I know this is going to be so weird to say. Millennium witches that are kind of like, you know, new age, you know.
They want to like improve on the older tradition.
Yeah, they don't want to make witches scary, or they don't want to make witches
like seem like a bad thing. They kind of
like a bad thing. They want to make witchcraft cool.
Yeah,
and I think that's why you're seeing a lot more of it in like
media
today.
Example, like Owl House definitely has a lot of that.
Owl House is all about witchery.
It's all about that, but it does have a little bit in Hilda, and that's something I really actually like that they're deciding to incorporate. I wasn't expecting it at all, so actually seeing this was a big like surprise to me. Mm-hmm. But I like it, and the fact that it's not Hilda actually doing it, it's Frida.
Yeah, her
friend Frida is basically becoming a witch,
and
Hilda's her familiar, which is the funny thing.
I thought it was apprentice. Never mind.
Well, not apprentice, familiar. So basically, Hilda is helping Frida learn how to do magic.
Yeah.
Which is something I never expected the show to actually dive into, if I'm being completely honest. I never expected it, but I'm kind of happy they are, because it gives Frida a little bit more of a like character development, because we're getting to see her growing up. And
if only they could add that to
Add that to what? Season 1?
No, I'm sorry.
Stop referencing Steven Universe.
No, I'm not referencing the male
David.
If only they could add
implement something to David.
Yeah.
Because like
maybe they will. Maybe he'll be like a fucking sorcerer or something. I don't know.
Because like that's the one thing I will say about this. Sadly, David
doesn't get to do shit. David just gets to sit there and like
be scared of everything.
Be scared of everything.
Even though he did get one episode that was focused on trying to learn how to be fearless.
Yeah, and he got decapitated like 2 times
in a kid's fucking show. That's another thing we're gonna bring up. David sadly does not get enough screen time. Like, at all.
David doesn't get shit.
This poor kid barely gets anything.
What do you know about David? He likes listening to light rock. That's it. That's all you get from this fucking season of David. It's
just light rock, and he did get one episode centered around him, which I did think was nice. And I actually liked seeing that side of him.
Refer to him ever again.
Yeah, but I did like seeing that side of him and his character and stuff, and how he decides to go through it and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, are you really not going to do anything else with him?
Probably not.
If they are,
Frida and Hilda are more interesting characters.
My theory is that season 3 they're probably going to focus on David. I feel like they're going to have to focus on him.
I don't want to though.
You just want them to focus on Frida and Hilda.
I don't want to. I kind of just want to focus on. I want Frida and Hilda to get their own show together and like be. Like, I know we already got... I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with gay witches. But
I could see that as a thing, though. I could see them as, like...
Frida and Hilda.
Like, if they get older in the series, I could see these two ending up together. I can kind of see that being a thing.
I don't think neither of them have shown any, like...
Any kind of thing. But I like their...
I don't think either of them have shown any romantic... Not to each other, but, like, to anybody, because they're still children.
Yeah. I feel like if these guys get older in the series, I feel like they could have something there for it. Because then again, they do have a lesbian couple in one of the scenes. So I don't think it's that far off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's fucking Netflix. Of course they're going to add that shit.
But still.
Like, it's not going to be like, oh, like, you know, it's not like they're uprooted by any fucking, like...
Company.
Not company, but, like... liberal fucking... Just...
We get it.
Just, like, cowards. Liberal cowards is what I call them. But it's not like that. It's not like that. It's like... It's just the fact that, hey, I would just rather have this be... It doesn't have to be, like... You know, I'd just rather have this be a fun little kids' adventure show.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. That's what it is. It doesn't strive to be anything else, and I'm happy about that. I'm happy that it doesn't strive to be anything fucking big. Like, oh, like, you know, Hilda's gonna discover the Tesseract or something. Like,
yeah.
Like, it doesn't do anything like that.
It's just like the kind of adventure shows to where they go through their adventure, but it doesn't really have that big of a plot, but it's a feel-good, wholesome show, basically, is what Hilda is. If you're looking for, like, wholesome shows and stuff like that just have, like, good relationship, good characters, and just, oh my gosh, the fucking animation, dude, it got so much better.
It really did.
The animation really improved, and that's something I noticed, like, right off the bat. Like, the animation is so much better in this season compared to the first.
Yeah, because you could tell, like,
they worked hard on it.
In the first season, it was
good, but, like...
No, the frame quality wasn't... Like, I think it was still kind of experimenting a little bit with the style, and, like, the frame quality wasn't as good as this one is, but
it's still good.
It's still really, really fucking good. I love this art style that they got going on here.
And also, just for reference,
the character animation's really fucking good.
Yeah, and also for reference, so you guys know, this series is actually based on a children's book series.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
I forgot about that.
It is based on a children's book series. I don't know how accurate it is to the books, though, because we haven't read them. But I would not mind reading the books. After the series is over, I would not mind reading it, just to see what they do.
I mean, to be completely honest, it's exactly like bringing the book to life, and props to that.
Yeah, but sadly we don't know because we don't have access to the books, but eventually I would like us to read the books just to see... Like,
I know they have to get the author's permission, but they should honestly make a comic series.
They should.
I don't know. How the books are. I don't know how the books are formatted, but
yeah. But something I will say, whenever Hilda is finished, which I have a feeling it's going to take a long time, especially at the rate they're going, I feel like it's going to take a long time for them to complete the series. So, something I will say, whenever the series is done, we're going to buy the books and compare the two. The series and the books. To see how accurate it is, how not accurate it is, and just stuff like that. But, that's for another day. We'll bring up a couple more points and then kind of just give our rating and talk about some stuff. So, one other thing that does happen in this series that I actually really like about it is the fact we actually have a Twig episode. Like, dude, this episode, out of all the episodes we've seen for Hilda, is the best fucking episode ever. I don't care what anybody says. I think it's the best episode.
You do?
Yes. Like, the animation is beautiful. You get to see, like, a whole different perspective on it. I like the dream sequences. The animation is just beautiful in this episode.
But Is that your favorite episode of this season?
Honestly, yes. This and the last episode are probably my favorites out of the season.
Mine was the holiday one.
Yeah, the holiday one was cute.
Holiday one was my favorite episode of this season, honestly.
Yeah, I can say that. It is a good episode.
That was tight, though. That episode was really tight. And I think, like, the way it wrapped up, it was just so cute. Like,
yeah. But something I will say about this. So, yeah, the Deer Fox one was actually probably my favorite. It had a lot of elements to it that I really liked. We also get to see what would happen if, in a sense, Twig left the picture, because
Twig's eventually gonna have to.
He's eventually gonna have to, but I'm hoping it's not for a long time, or at least until the series ends.
You mean until fucking Hilda becomes an adult and...
Well, that too. Still, I do think it's interesting how they decide to do this episode. To me, it's the best episode of the whole series, honestly, because I have a good attachment to it. Like, I just feel like it's really good. It just brought out a lot of emotion in me.
Because it's cute.
Well, that, and because, like, we actually get to see Hilda and Twig's bond, like, grow closer than it did before. And we get to see how much she actually appreciates him. And we actually get to see their origin story of how these two met. That, I will admit, was fucking amazing.
That was cute.
Hilda as a child, like, younger child, not like the current child she is, but younger child, is so cute!
Why you compare, like, younger child?
Well, she's...
like your younger baby.
But she's so cute. Like, she was so cute. I loved it. Like, she grew up, like...
Come along, tiny human. You don't know how...
But she's so cute. Okay, and then... 2 more things we will bring up about this.
Well, I want to bring up something. What you think about the relationship between the main power dynamic of the season between Hilda and her mom?
That's what I was going to bring up, actually. I was going to bring that up. I feel like this season also got to explore Hilda and her mom's relationship a lot more than it did in the last season. Last season, you said she felt was a little bit too lenient on her.
Well, okay. It's really weird because it's like, I'd rather not have the overprotective parent trope if I don't need it.
Unless, like, it's for a good reason.
Yeah, basically. That's my criteria. It's like, does this need to exist? And if is it dampering any type of fun that I'm having? Those are the criterias. And for here, no, it didn't damper the fun. And yeah, I think it was there
to kind of help Hilda balance everything out.
Yeah, I think it was there for a reason. It wasn't just there because...
Yeah.
You know, oh, we gotta have some type of shit happen. It's like, no. It's like... I think any fucking reasonable parent would be concerned about what their child is doing.
Yeah.
Like, if they're, like, constantly, like, lying to them about where they're going. Like, yeah, you would blow up... You would, like, you know, blow up at Hilda just like her mom did. Like... Yeah,
it is relatable. I will say that. It is relatable, and we actually get to see a better relationship between the two because of it. And stuff. That is something I will bring up. Like, at first, like, to me, I felt like it was a little bit rough, but now after seeing the last episode and how everything rounded out, I can kind of see why they did it. They're trying to make it so Hilda understands that actions have consequences, and you gotta learn to understand perspectives from parent to child and stuff like that, because she was only thinking about herself in a couple cases. Like, that's not a bad thing, but still. Right?
I think it's more of, hey, Hilda, I think you need to understand why... Like
your mom is being a butt.
Like how I feel when you go out and you don't tell me where you are. Like, you don't tell me, like, you know, the full details on what you're doing. And I don't know, like, you know, you hang and you just, like, you know, I guess being in danger all the time. Yeah, it's gonna worry.
Yeah, like, I can see why she's worried, because she's not telling her mom what's going on. She's basically just, like, saying, oh, I'm going out, and never just explain why. That's like going to the store and not saying what you want to get, in a sense. As just a basic analogy.
I think the analogy they have is fine enough. Like, you know,
yeah.
Child doesn't tell you what they're doing.
You think they're doing something bad.
Yeah.
And how old exactly is Hilda in this? Do they ever say her age?
She's like 10 or 11.
Okay, so that means when she's a kid, she's like 5, maybe? 5, 6? Something like that.
Around that time.
So, she's like a young kid. But she's slowly getting into, like, the rebellious phase.
Yeah.
Definitely in this season, she's getting into, like, a rebellion phase.
She really is.
It's fucking obvious. Like, it's obvious. You can't deny it. All kids are going to go through some kind of rebellion phase. Whether it be harsh or not as harsh. This one I feel like is on the lighter spectrum where it's not as harsh.
Well, yeah, it's a fucking kids show. It's, of course, not going to be hard.
Still, that is something I will point out about this and stuff like that. We get to see how her mom has reacted to a more rebellious child and stuff like that, in a sense. Well, how do you think they're going to deal with it, like, next season? Do you think it's going to be worse or better?
I feel like it's going to get resolved.
I hope so.
I think it will be resolved. I don't think it's going to stand. I don't think, because if it's like, you know, just like that for a good while, then that's the type of shit that makes me kind of turned off to, like, shows.
But I feel like that's not going to be the case, honestly. Like, I don't feel like that's going to be the case. But you never know. Like, so far the series is turning out really good, so I have a feeling that they're not going to pull something like that. If they did, they probably would have already done it at this point. Because it's season 2. It took 2 years for them to make it at this point. At least 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. But still. Like, that's something we're going to have to point out. Also, a couple more things. Last thing, let's talk about the final episode in a second. But, oh my gosh, that fucking ranger dude is annoying.
I know, he is.
He was the worst fucking character in this entire season. I don't care what anybody says. I did not like him.
I don't like him at all.
He wasn't even needed for half the shit. He's literally the reason the trolls were literally going crazy. It's because of him. It was ridiculous. It's like, what the hell?
It's such a waste of a voice actor, honestly.
And that's sad. He's got a good voice, but his character sucks.
I know.
And it's disappointing because, like, what do you expect? What are you supposed to expect from this guy if he wasn't that? Like, it was bad. That's one thing I'm going to get out of the way right now. I hated this dude. He was not fucking needed.
How about instead of, like, making, like, a dude like that, he would make a positive male role model for him?
Yeah, like, why can't you have a positive male role model in this series? Even though I do like all the female role models in this. However, if this is their idea of a strong male role model, then they kind of gotta work on that. But that's just me. But that's the really only complaint I have with season 2 is just that. Because he was not needed. Okay? Like, he was not needed. And that isn't going to affect my score with this. I'm just going to say that. But that's the only thing about season 2 that honestly bothered me. Was him. He was the only bad thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I did not care for him. He wasn't even a fucking, like, funny, good, or even,
he was awful.
He wasn't nothing. He was just a fucking antagonist that wasn't any fucking fun to be.
I don't know who was worse, the weather woman from last season or him. I think he's worse.
Yeah, he's worse, because the weather woman,
at least she had a plot.
She was interesting.
And she at least made it interesting, and you actually get to see her, like, trying to do something a little bit better than she did last season.
Yeah.
A sort of redemption, but not really.
Not really.
But I am curious what they're going to do with her next season, though. I feel like they're going to explore her in the new dimension the next season. I feel like that's going to be a thing. That has to be. Like, come on. Why the fuck are you going to put it in there if she's not going to do anything?
I don't know. Put her in another show.
Good point. That
Put
could
her
work.
in Owl House.
Why do I feel like they're going to fucking do that? Like, if they did a crossover with Owl House, that would be amazing. That would be so awesome. The fact that, like, if they crossed over with Owl House, like, holy shit, I would love that.
But, like, they don't own Owl House.
I know. It's sad. It's sad. It's like, what the hell? Anyway, last thing we'll talk about before we give our rating and talk about other stuff, but, can we please talk about the ending to the season? This season ending was great. Mm-hmm. And then we got thrown for a loop. Like, this is a major spoiler, but the twist ending, the fact that Hilda's a troll now, is like, where did that come from? Like, that came out of nowhere. Like, that came out of nowhere. Like, what do you think? Like,
so the mom just wanted to replace Hilda with her child. Is that a fae, technically?
I don't know. I don't really know what a fae is, so I don't.
Fae is a creature, fairy that comes and replaces your children with, like, a look-alike.
I don't know.
And keeps the real children for their own.
Well, because, like, something I did notice now that I'm thinking about, they switched the heads of Hilda and the other rock character. Remember that part? They made the rocks, and one of them looked like Hilda. The child, the rock child, was making Hilda and another person, and then at the end they switched the heads, and then they appeared in each other. I just thought about that. That has to be planned! That fucking mom rock like and the baby rock switched it.
So is this like voodoo dolls or something?
I don't know. Now that I think about it, it looks like it was. I think they made it on purpose.
Well,
I just fucking clicked. It fucking clicked. I don't know. Like, because they helped her. That's the thing.
Well, yeah.
They helped her. I don't understand.
I don't understand either. I'm so confused.
I don't get it.
I'm so confused. Like, why would that happen? There was no, like...
I don't know. Like, that...
She's just unhappy with her child, and she's like, oh, I'm gonna just kidnap this human one.
I don't know. I don't know the reason behind it, but that's something I just thought of as soon as I saw that. I was like, wait. It fucking makes sense now. They switched the heads, and then that made Hilda turn to the troll, and then the other troll was with the mom. So...
Do you think the troll will become human?
I have no idea. I feel like that's something that they're definitely going to explore next season. They have to. But still, that ending, it threw me for a fucking loop. I wasn't expecting that at all. What about you?
I was not, honestly. Like, that was
plot twist of the fucking year.
That was fun, though.
Yeah.
That was a fun twist. It makes me excited for
season 3.
Season, yeah.
Whenever they decide to release it. Because at this point, I don't know when they were going to release it.
In 2 years.
If it takes 2 fucking years. I swear! Like, if they're going to take 2 years to fucking release a season.
Just got done with this one. Give it time.
I'm going to give it time, but... Dude... Why do you take so long?
The creator has other stuff to do.
I know, it is so good. Sorry, I'm like yawning.
I know.
Anyway, so that's basically all that happens in the second season. Like, that's basically it. That's the main plot points of this whole season. There's a couple side gags here and there, but we're not really going to go into detail about it because we kind of want you guys to see it for yourselves. But please go watch this show. It's so good. Like, this is one of those underrated shows that I feel like deserves more attention. Right, honey?
Yeah.
Like, this honestly deserves more attention than it has because it's so good. Like, I don't understand how this show is not more popular.
Because it looks very childish.
Well, who cares? Some people like that.
It's only it's been like, how long has it been? It's been a few years since people have actually actually, like, grow, like, oh, well, liking stuff that's cute and that's lighthearted is okay. It doesn't make me a softie or whatever. It's like, it's only been, like, popular for the last couple of years, and it's like, dude, I wish we didn't have to, like, I wish this probably is going to be one of those cult, like, classic type, like,
yeah, I feel like that too.
Like, shows that's going to be like, oh, yeah, like, you know, I like Hilda, but nobody, like, talks crazy about Hilda because
it's just
kids
there.
Show, and it's
kids
like,
show, and it's just kind of there.
It's just kind of there, and it's like, oh, like, you know, we got other things to watch. Like, fucking Steven Universe. I'm sorry. But
you, like, can get into that in another time.
like, you know, we got other
Please stop
shows,
being Steven. Please stop making Steven Universe the only one you focus on. Honey.
Okay, we can, what's another one?
That you've actually seen. That I've actually seen. Because you don't know what it's going to be like until you watch it. This is why, like I say...
Fine, I'll do a Netflix one. Voltron. Let's do not make this like a Voltron. Like,
thank you.
Like,
For once, it's not Steven Universe.
Let's not make it overblown like fucking Voltron does. It's like, come on. Here's a perfectly good show. Another fucking good show that's probably better than Voltron, even though I've only watched one season of Voltron.
But it's still better than nothing. It's better than whatever. Anyway, that's really the end of it. Let's give our rating, and then I'm going to talk about a couple things really quick. So, what do you want me to give my rating first, or you want to give yours?
You can give yours.
Okay, so, season 1 has been a long time since I've seen it, but that's definitely like a 9 out of 10, season 1 in general. So, that's what I'm going to base it off of. So, compared to season 1, this is honestly a 9.5 out of 10. I think it's a really good series. Season 2 has really done a lot more that made me hooked on this series. Again, it made me fall in love with the series all over again. Mm-hmm. Especially after you introduced the first season to me, like 2 years ago. It's still surprising to see, like, how much it's improved.
I know.
And I really have no complaints, other than the one fucking dude. But other than that, it's a solid show. Like, it's solid. I just wish more people kind of talked about it, in my personal opinion, because I feel like this show needs to be talked about more.
I do too. I really do wish this show will pick up by the time
COVID is over with.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. I bet that's what they were going for. It's like, hey, we were gonna, like, you know, people are gonna talk about this show, but it's not gonna probably get popular. Maybe it'll stay that way. I really don't care how popular a show gets, just as long as...
I just want it to be talked about.
Yeah.
At least a little bit more than it does.
I like it, and that's all that matters. So...
yeah, so what's your rating? I give it 9.5.
This season, it's better than the first because it kept my interest probably a lot longer.
It really did.
But then again, I was a different person, like, 2 years ago.
Yeah, same.
I like it. I really do like it. I give it a 8.5.
That's good. Yay. Okay. So, yeah. That's basically the end of this podcast. We're going to be taking a break for a couple days. And then next month, we're going to be watching a couple anime for review. So, here's what we're going to be doing for February. So, since it's getting close to February, we're going to be taking a break for a couple days to kind of relax, not really worry about anything, but we're gonna watch a couple different anime, that including Black Butler is probably gonna be the first one we review next. We're gonna be doing ReZero, and do you know the name of the babysitter anime?
Something babysitters, I don't know.
Yeah, and then we're gonna be watching a newer anime. We forgot the name of it. It's the one that has the babies and the babysitter in it. If you guys know the name of it, comment below. I can't really think of it right now, but we're going to be watching that.
I just realized how many veins are in my foot.
Jay, oh my gosh. Anyway, we're going to be doing those 3 series. So Black Butler, ReZero. I forgot the name of the other one, but it's got the babies in it. And we may watch one more depending on how long it is. But those are the 3 we're mainly going to be focusing on. And I should be having another sketchbook tour coming up sometime next month. If I work at the pace I'm working at, I'm hoping to get a sketchbook tour done.
And if I work at the pace I'm working at, I will be getting it done.
And next month?
In May.
Jay, it's not going to be in May. Come on. You got to eventually show it. Come on.
I know.
I'm trying to get Jay to show off his sketchbook, so hopefully that'll be a video next month. If not, we'll let you guys know when his is going to be done. But my next sketchbook tour hopefully should be done next month. Hopefully, if not, sometime beginning of March. But we also have other stuff planned. It's just we haven't had a chance to really do it recently because of just stuff going on. Mm-hmm. So, but there is more other videos coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. But mainly we're focusing on anime next month. You excited to be watching some anime again? I'm definitely excited.
I am too.
So, eventually, and another thing we're going to try and do, because Promised Neverland Season 2 is coming out slowly, we are going to be doing Season 2 of Promised Neverland whenever it finishes airing. We're going to try and, I think, do the sub, and then eventually just watch the dub for fun. I think that's what we should do. Just to compare it.
I hope so.
I think we should just compare it. Or something like that compared to the first season with the dub.
Maybe.
So yeah, you guys are going to be seeing Promised Neverland Season 2 whenever it finishes airing. How many episodes are currently out right now?
3.
There's only 3. So yeah, whenever it's done airing, we are going to be doing that. I don't know if it's going to be this month or next month. We'll see. But that's basically our plans for February. So thank you guys for watching. We will be posting we'll be posting a couple videos sometime this week, and then we're going to be resting a little bit before we start recording our February podcasts. So be on the lookout for that. But don't forget to like and subscribe for more future podcasts and more videos. Anyway, thank you guys, and I'm Mari.
I'm Jay.
And we're out.